So, Mega Raichu, or should I say Raichus, because there's two of them. I was not expecting that at all, and I don't really like either of them, to be honest. They both kind of just look like Pikachu and Raichu fusions, rather than a Mega Raichu. Especially the Y, Mega Raichu Y. It just looks like an orange Pikachu with a long tail. And I know both of them are supposed to look like the letter X and Y because of their Mega Raichu X and Y, but they could have executed it better. So I'm not sure which one of them I like more. Probably X, but also because it looks more like Raichu in body, but also the Pikachu coloring just does not look very good on it at all. Someone on X, Card NLH, CARDNL and capital H on Twitter, did a recolor of Mega Raichu X, and honestly, it doesn't look bad if you just recolor it and have Raichu colors, not Pikachu colors. Like, honestly, I'd be okay with that. But no, it's got Pikachu colors. Hopefully the shiny is Raichu colors. There's also another person on X. Several people on X have done redesigns. The ones by Losey Rosie, I think, look quite good. I like changing the Y to be part of the tail. They almost give me, like, Halloween type of feel. Almost reminds me of, like, pumpkins. They're very cute. There's also another redesign, this one of just the Y Mega, by Rain Animation on Twitter again. And yeah, it looks more like Gorochu, and I think that looks a lot better. And it doesn't have like the 4-ear look like the official one does. Another thing with the Mega Raichus, I don't like that both of them are monotype. I know some people thought that the Mega X one was electric fighting, but unfortunately it's not. They're just monotype. So, anyway, in the background I am showing a speed paint of me redrawing and redesigning both of the Megas because, as I said before, I'm not really a fan of either of them. So, yeah, as inspiration, I looked at some art of Gorochu that people have done, like the one by Fox Eve on DeviantArt, which I'll pop up on the screen. And Gorochu, if you don't know, was originally supposed to be another evolution of Raichu, since in Gen 1 they actually had a lot more 3-stage lines planned, but they ran out of storage on the cart. So originally it was Pikachu, Raichu, Gorochu, but of course Gorochu got cut, and then they added Pichu in Gen 2, and then it wasn't really possible to do Gorochu anymore, except for the Mega, and then they didn't really have any Gorochu elements at all, except for, I guess, the tooth on the X variant. But I wouldn't really count that. Neither of them really look like how Gorochu was imagined by the fans at all. I know some people would disagree with that, but I don't see any Gorochu elements. I mean, I guess the lightning bolt type ear horns on Y, maybe? Or the fang on X, but I mean, that's just not really anything. I also saw the other Megas they revealed as well, the Kalos starters, and I think all of those look really good. I'd say Greninja's the most disappointing because it doesn't change that much. It's pretty much just a regular Greninja with some lighter blue accents and it's upside down, which, I mean, it's not a bad design. Greninja's already a really solid design. I really do like the Mega Chestnut and especially Mega Delphox. Never really liked Delphox that much, but the Mega makes it look really cool. Anyway, so some ideas I had for my redesign, which you'll see in some of the references I have on the side of the canvas, possibly. I wanted to keep the X and Y look of each of them, but make it more subtle. So it doesn't, like, come at the cost of the visual appeal of the design. I also want to change both of the color palettes. I don't like the Pikachu colors on the Mega X. It doesn't suit it at all. It just looks weird. Although some fan art does make it look more appealing. It could just be the 3D render. Both of the 3D renders, like in the trailer, and then the official art images might be part of the issue. Also, to keep it in line with other Mega Evolutions like Ampharos and Generation 6, where it has the wool added back, like on its previous evolutions, and also the more recent Mega Dragonite, where it has wing ears, like Dragonair had, I did decide to add some elements from Pichu and Pikachu to the designs. I changed the palettes for each of them. I was deciding to make the X1 look more like Gorochu, or at least fan depictions of Gorochu, and make it more like a reddish orange. The other one I was going to make more of like a yellow-orange, closer to regular Cantonian Raichu's color. And X is also going to have some elements or some references back to Pikachu Libre from Generation 6, which is a cosplay Pikachu variant. I'll also be designing it as if it is an electric fighting type and not a pure electric type. I want to try and incorporate some of the horn-like ears that it has in the official Mega art. I also wanted to change the tails of both of them to be looking more like a regular Raichu tail, since both of them basically just have either straight up a Pikachu tail or a Pikachu tail mixed with a Raichu tail. Since Raichu's tail is like a pointy lightning bolt, it doesn't end in like a flat edge like Pikachu's does, but both of the Megas have that be the case. It just makes it look more just like some version of a Pikachu tail, and I don't really like that. I'd like it to look like Raichu first, before it looks like Pikachu, since it's a Raichu Mega. As for the Y evolution, I decided to make it look more like a Alolan Raichu some, and I also wanted to not lean into the Gorochu side and lean more into like a fairy type side, since Pikachu and Raichu are in the fairy egg group, so I thought it might make sense to do that. So I looked at some fairy type Pokemon for some inspiration. I also wanted to pay some homage to Popstar Pikachu, but I didn't really find anywhere to put anything from it on the design. I guess it kind of inspired how I did the pattern of brown on the hands of the Y version. I did want to keep the lightning bolt horn, since that's an important part of the design, or if they're another set of ears, I'm not sure. Since, that's how they make the Y. Some people are saying it's probably supposed to look like a jackalope, which I can see. I can see that. And if that's the case, that's pretty cool inspiration. I just wish it was executed better. Alright, so for my final designs, X's ears, I was trying to turn them into lightning bolts, but I ended up changing that and softening it more to make it just look like almost like the combination of a lightning bolt in the original Raichu's ears, but elongated. The pointy bit, the extra pointy part on X's ears is also supposed to look like almost like a horn, or two horns. I also gave it an extra snaggle tooth, so now it has the fangs that are mentioned in the one interview. I kept the red in the eyes and darkened the color, since honestly I have no problem with the added eye colors on either of them. And I added black tips to the ears as a nod to Pikachu, and a dark patch on the chest for Pichu, and also Pikachu Libre if you've seen the costume on it. I gave Y an even more rounder appearance to have it be more in line with other fairy types, and also so that it could resemble Alolan Raichu some. The ears are basically Alolan Raichu's, but slightly more pointed, and so is the face. The antlers have a transition from white to yellow instead of the yellow to brown, since the yellow to brown didn't look as good to me. And yeah, I know the yellow to brown is because of Raichu's original ears being brown with yellow on the inside. It just didn't look as good, at least to me. And I had some fluff at the base of the tail to look kind of like a rabbit's cottontail, since people were saying it was probably based on a jackalope. So, added the rabbit's tail to make it look more like a jackalope, or harken back more to a jackalope. So, yeah, those are my designs. Hopefully you like them. I am mostly satisfied with the designs I came up with. I don't really know how to draw in the Sugimori style, but I did my best. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you like the designs.